You can start downloading the brand new Bottom Dollar Bounties DLC update coming tomorrow in GTA Online right now on PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4. We'll talk about what that means, if there are any new leaks, and a whole lot more on this video today. So that's right, if you guys are on PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 4, you can actually start preloading the DLC update right now, which essentially will take away the time when the update does actually arrive, which we'll talk about in a second. It's essentially like downloading 99% of the file, and then the last thing you need is that like 1% key. You turn the ignition and you're good to go. So when the update does arrive, it'll essentially take all the waiting out. On PlayStation 4, the file size is 3.476 gigabytes, and on PlayStation 5, it's 2.589 gigabytes. Now, unfortunately, this feature is not available for guys on Xbox or PC, so you will have to wait a little bit longer to get your hands on it. And of course, all of that will depend on your internet download speed and when Rockstar releases the update to those platforms. Particularly with PC, there's so many different platforms in which you can play it on, whether it be Steam or the Epic Games Store or the Rockstar Games launcher, so all of that will depend. Now, regarding the size of the update, a lot of people saw this and said, wow, this seems like a relatively small DLC. Well, not necessarily. I mean, if we just take a look at some of the last couple of updates that Rockstar have put out during the summer months, they seemingly vary. Like, for example, the San Andreas Mercenaries update was 5.57 gigabytes on PlayStation 5. Criminal Enterprises was 5 gigabytes. Los Santos Tuners was 3.6. Los Santos Summer Special was 1.7 gigabytes. Diamond Casino and Resorts was 3.5 gigabytes. After Hours was 5.3. Gun Running was 2.2 gigabytes. Smuggler's Run 1.7 gigabytes. And Cunning Stunts 1.14 gigabytes. So you can see all of them vary there, and what you might say is a big update might necessarily translate to the size of the DLC itself. Like Gun Running was packed with a ton of content, and it's only 2.2 gigabytes. Yet After Hours, probably around the same size sort of DLC, almost twice as big. Well, that's because Rockstar had to upload things like hours worth of DJ set playlists. So different things like music will take up different amounts of space. So you can't really judge this book by its cover surrounding the size. If I was a betting man, I would say this is probably going to be around a medium-sized update. Probably not as small as Los Santos Summer Special, but probably not as large as the After Hours update or Diamond Casino and Resort, for example. Now, if you guys are wondering when the update is going to be coming out, I'll show you guys this map right now. This was created by Ben or Videotech on social media, and you can see the various times for where you might be located around the world. So, for example, on the East Coast of the United States, it's going to be coming out at 5 a.m. On the West Coast of the United States, it'll be arriving at 2 a.m. And then you can see over in the UK and Europe around 10 a.m., 11 a.m. And other parts of the world you can see might change to the afternoon or even evening, depending on where you might be located. So I'll leave a link to that in the description if you guys are interested. It'll give you a good idea of when the DLC update will be coming out, and you'll be able to get your hands on this new content. Now, let's talk about some more details surrounding this update coming from insiders. And at first, I was a little bit skeptical we would actually get any new details. This is coming from one of the data miners that usually does a good job of getting info on these games, Lucas7Yoshi, who said, just to set expectations, don't expect too much in the way of leaks ahead of the DLC. Once it releases, though, I'll be digging. You never know, though. And typically, we've received some mega posts from the likes of Allocator or other insiders that might have been able to grab some information surrounding this update. However, as I'm recording this video, which is on Monday, there haven't been any major mega threads of leaks, but only small little snippets, which we'll talk about right now. This first one comes from Rockstar Games insider Tez Funds 2, who was responding to someone that said, "That's awesome, as I've been selling a car every 18 hours or what it is. I figure I need about 10 spaces." With him saying, "We aren't getting a 10-car garage space. It's only 1 or 2 spaces, fitting of how small the property is. So do not expect a mega garage in this update. It looks like our bottom dollar bounty bail enforcement business will only be able to fit 1 or 2 cars, which is not surprising, again, given how small the property is. Now, some more follow-up, as someone said, but that's just speculation of yours. No, nothing tells us that there will not be an underground 10-car garage, with them saying there are no new apartment slots or an underground 10-car garage. Only about 2 new spaces. In regards to the Eclipse Boulevard garage, we knew there were about 50 slots coming with the Drug Wars update. So you heard it there first. There is not going to be a massive amount of space to store cars, so that is something you might want to do if you don't have, for whatever reason, any spaces available. Clear some out for the vehicles that we are going to be getting. It looks like there might be some spaces that we can utilize, but not a ton. Now, moving on, more information from TezFunds2 saying this update has less clothing compared to the previous 4 updates with less rewardable clothing. I don't think the clothing drip feed will last long, but there are unreleased clothing items from previous updates to fill the gap. With a follow-up question coming from someone who said, what's the point of the reward clothing? We barely get any from the current DLC. It's always shirts from years ago, with them saying some are for GTA Plus, some for career progress, and the rest is for events like Halloween, Day of the Dead, etc. So there's going to be a little bit less clothing in this update compared to previous ones. I know for some people, clothing is a huge part of the DLC. For others, some just don't care at all. Let me know what you think about that in those comments down below. And now from another member of the Rockstar Games community, WildBrick142, who ended up responding to someone that said, anyways, I hope the bounty office will be customizable, at least in the slightest, with them saying you'll at least get to choose the office style and add personal quarters. There will be a safe inside for passive income as well. The usual stuff, basically. So we do know that our bottom dollar bail enforcement business, we're going to be able to customize it to a degree with the basic sort of stuff, office style, personal quarters, a safe for passive income, stuff like that. And then literally just minutes ago, WildBrick142 chimed in by saying, less than 20 hours left. This final wait is so exciting, we may need a stun rod to contain it. And I think that is a cryptic clue and hint that we're going to be receiving a new weapon in this DLC, and that is a stun rod, which one of the most simple ways to describe this would be like a giant stick that's like a stun gun. It's almost like a baton and a stun gun combined. So that seemingly confirms that we'll be getting a new weapon in this update alongside of the new stun gun sort of livery or new variant of the stun gun that we'll be utilizing for our bounty businesses. And it looks like this stun rod or baton, stun gun, whatever combination it is going to be another weapon that we'll be utilizing too. But anyways, as things currently stand, that is everything we know so far as we are approaching the final few hours of the remaining time before the DLC gets here. Bottom dollar bounties. Let me know what you think about the update so far. Are you excited about it? Are you not excited about it? I'd love to hear from you guys in those comments down below. If you guys did go and enjoy this video though, a like rating would of course be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you want to stay up to date on all the bottom dollar bounty DLC videos that I'll be doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.